I am Z. Dubrovsky, the CEO and co-founder of Robotics. We started about a year ago. A team of us left Harvard University, myself, Raphael Cherney, our CTO, and an ex-Microsoft, ex-Apple guy, and Radhika Nagpal, computer science professor at Harvard University. One of the things that we started with was asking this question, what skills do you want your kids to be most proficient in? And we gave choices to people, asking them, is it science, is it technology, is it reading, is it math, is it problem solving? And we learned something very interesting, that problem solving was the #1 skill that people wanted. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because problem solving is a lifelong skill that affects all of us. It doesn't matter what discipline you're focused on. So we're reimagining what it means to problem solve. And we think that robots are the best way to go on this journey, that it's a real tactical, physical interaction with the robot that introduces you to new challenges and explore your curiosity, explore your imagination. And when you think about this in the industry, it fits. So this is an example of the first DARPA autonomous vehicle. It's named Sandstorm. It came out of Carnegie Mellon University, and it's on a Humvee platform. And it's on a Humvee because the payload of sensors and computers required in order to do the DARPA challenge needed to have the capacity of a Humvee to hold it all. So it's jam-packed, filled with hardware. And you flash forward to what a self-driving car looks like today, and it looks like this. The sensors are integrated, everything is invisible, it just works. Technology is accelerating at a ridiculously fast pace. And it's the problem solving of how you go from this to this that enables that. And we can see that in the industry. Here's the, Boston Consulting Group did an analysis in 2014 saying, well, how big is this global robotics business really going to be? And this is the first I've ever seen this personally, where the estimate that they gave of $67 billion, they had to correct and actually increase it to $87 billion. Because as technology is accelerating, so are opportunities. And we not only see this in general robotics, we also see this in global education robots. So in 2016, the global market in educational robots was $2.7 billion, and it's growing year over year at a 22% rate. And specifically inside of education, we're seeing this grow even faster. So what does it mean to problem solve with robots? Robots have abilities, and if you want the problem solving to be interesting, you have to combine those abilities. So if your ability was just to move around, you can only problem solve things that just require movement. So when we set out to make Root, we were focusing on what are the abilities of the robot. It can move, react to motion, it can light up and make music, but we didn't just stop there. Root can hold a marker, it can lift and drop it, so now you have the ability to draw. It can drop an eraser, now you have the ability to erase. It can scan what's underneath Root. You can react to the things that it drives over. It responds to human touch. You can play with Root and decorate it and personalize it. Or you can bump into things and interact with the physical world. And you can understand what surfaces are underneath yourself and react to those. Or go on surfaces that are vertical and stick to them. You can feel the environment, and you can respond to sound. So when you think about sensor fusion, you think about hardware, you think about opportunities, it's how can you combine all of these in an environment, but what's the language for combining these problems and these abilities? It's code. So we sought out to make the best problem-solving coding interface using our robot. And it starts with a graphical environment, a simple image-based system, that even pre-readers, you don't even have to know how to read to code with Root and combine these abilities. And from there, you reach level 2, a new interface that gives you advanced control over how to code with the robot and simulate things as your code becomes more and more complex. And finally, we land you at a real tangible endpoint. Full text coding, in your choice of language, whether it be JavaScript, Python, or Swift. And this is now one complete ecosystem where you can problem solve with robots and code. But you can't just hand this off to somebody and say, figure out how to code. You have to give them a path. So we want to make learning this way as simple as playing a game and expose you to the right breadcrumbs of opportunities and write lesson plans along the way, so you're learning only one bit at a time in those interfaces. So here's a snapshot of a workshop in our office. Sound?
Yay, high five. That was great.
I don't think Ruby's doing my full code. Root's the best. Yeah, the best. Keep going.
Try another one, Elliot. Try a different path. Choose a different start and home.
I'm gonna do a different start. So, and this is even to go. This is harder. It's like this now.
So what you might have missed there is Elliot actually challenged himself to make it harder. Well, this is like the living embodiment of personalized learning. He's troubleshooting an open-ended problem, he found an opportunity, he succeeded in that, and he's challenging himself to continue and push himself even further. And we're excited to see these things, because what we really want to accomplish at Root Robotics is inspire the next generation of not only coders, but of doctors, of astronauts, of artists, of musicians, where maybe you're coding a robot to scan color and play different songs. Maybe you're making games, or plotting math functions, or you want to be a race car driver. So the pathway to problem solving doesn't have to be a pathway for the traditional way of looking at coding. It can be the pathway of art. It can be the pathway of creativity and of creation and imagination. And we're extremely excited to see the very beginnings of where this is going. Root will be available and start shipping this June at codewithroot.com. And we're excited to see where this is going to go. Thank you.